All right, welcome back, adventurers. Where we last left off in the seas of Rashadan, the party had just received a contract to an isle to the southeast of the Theocracy. When they arrived at the island, they realized that they were here to assist with a investigation of a unknown threat at the time by Yanti. Upon further investigation, they found out that the Yanti of this island were actually the inhabitants that had been transformed by a blessing of a god to help them withstand the trials and tribulations of living in this hostile area. The chieftain of the island had informed them that the current priest of the temple, after a altercation with the Theocracy's paladins, who stole some of the eggs from the temple, had become hostile and were attacking all outsiders. The chieftain, after a little bit of negotiation with him, relented to the idea that maybe it was time to get rid of the people of the temple. So the adventurers made their way to the temple, cleared it out, destroyed the guardian of the temple, which collapsed on their way fleeing from said temple. And now we come back to our adventurers and the tie-up of their actions.
And an innocent died.
Yes, there is that. The unfortunates of Kongol's actions caused a not fully changed villager to die.
Who would have died in a collapsing temple anyways?
Died of arcanal
You
dysfunction.
didn't know that.
Nope.
But again,
What is,
Golomov does not like you for that action.
what is done is done.
He still allowed an innocent to die through his own ignorance. We had warned you that these magics were not to be tampered with, and you tampered with it anyway. You are either a fool or heartless. I'm still deciding which.
$10 an idiot.
Golomov. Yes, I know you killed an innocent, but right now we can't kill each other. For right now, we also have bigger fish to fry.
I never said I wanted to harm him. I just want him to learn from his actions. Don't tamper with magics that you do not understand, nor have the capacity to understand. Zai?
He just
He's just brushing them
says
off.
nothing.
Yeah, because Golomov was getting
It's
in
not
your face.
necessarily brushing him off, but
Nothing really for him to
it's
say.
more like a solemn expression on his face.
He made an oopsie. But it's too late to take back the oopsie.
Yes. All right.
Yes. But he
Well
does not say anything.
I don't think we'll have to deal with many hostiles in this area. Maybe we should rest from our recent encounter. And
I
then we'll make our way back to the village.
agree. As Kill pretty much rubs the cuts and and the bandaged wounds that he still has.
Yeah. All right. So you will all take a long rest. Oh, damn it! Not that action. Let's see. There we go. Rest. Long rest. There we go. So as you're all sitting there around the campfire at night, pulling out your rations, getting a nice little meal. Oh yeah, Congo. Let me remove that exhaustion effect from you because that's no longer
Thank
gonna be
you.
a thing.
It's the worst thing about frenzy.
You suddenly see Golomov's eyes. Or who's actually up right now? Because I know Elendil is sleeping and Red Thor is sleeping.
Kill.
I will have Congo be up.
Okay.
Gonna go kill.
I'll just say I'm
Gammon?
tinkering away in a tent with Waifu Bot.
Yeah.
Gotta improve the double Ds. We're going right up ahead.
Gammon, are you asleep right now, or would you be awake?
I'm gonna be asleep because I gotta go figure out what the heck's wrong with my dog.
Cool. All right. Elendil or not? Yeah, Elendil
Congo.
sleep. Kill and Kongol. You suddenly see Golemov as he's staring into the fire. His eyes suddenly get that weird green color again. And the fire suddenly becomes this sickly, pale, greenish color.
Kill laying there, tinkering with his armor, making sure every facet's green, kind of raises his eyebrow and looks towards Golemov and he goes, "Ah, so I see that you've returned."
It does not recognize you, or it does not acknowledge you, whatever is currently going on. But you do watch as suddenly Golemov takes up his hand and sticks it into the fire.
Oh, Golemov, why are you doing that?
The creature,
Congo just
it just
stares.
looks its head. It just tilts its head towards you, and looks back into the fire. You watch as the fire's not actually burning Golemov, but as he pulls his hand back, you see this massive black tome is now in his hands.
Kill utters pretty much a, "Ew, what the hell am I seeing before me?" And this is in Savian.
You watch as the creature looks back at you, or you watch as Golemov tilts his head back towards you, not in a hostile manner.
But what do you speak? Uh, Come again?
Subtitles?
It said a gift for one who has served well.
Oh. Okay.
And suddenly, Golemov's eyes snap back. And he's just looking at the tome.
Congo goes back to sharpening his axe.
Are you alright, Golemov?
I am fine.
Alright. That was just kind of weird.
I'm not exactly sure what this book is.
Well, when the other I wouldn't say it's a creature, more of probably a deity of some sort, but pretty much said it's a gift to one that has served so loyally. At least that's all it told me.
I haven't done anything.
Maybe not gonna say physical manner, but may have psychological or there's another word for it. Maybe it enjoyed looking and seeing things through your own eyes, maybe?
I swear this gets more complicated day by day.
Yes, that it does. But it's also getting kind of peculiar. Like it's taking more control. Almost.
Oh. Oh. I don't feel tired anymore.
Maybe you're getting used to it.
No. Like, I seem to not. I don't feel fatigue.
Maybe it's because of the gift.
Uh, well, let's see what this book has.
And he just starts to flip it open and starts to read.
Kill pretty much goes back to repairing, or again, refastening a bunch of his armor. But keeps every once in a while looks up to make sure Golemov isn't doing something weird.
He's just sitting there reading the book. And y'all finish your time during the watch, and Golemov is just still sitting there reading.
Must be a good hentai.
Golemov, you alright?
As I said, I don't feel fatigue anymore. I think whatever it did, I don't need to sleep anymore.
That's preposterous. Almost every living being needs sleep at some time.
Well, whatever this creature has blessed me with, it doesn't. It seems like I don't require sleep now. I'll maintain the watch. If any of you want to cycle out, that is your own prerogative.
Well, Golemov, or not Golemov, Congo and I have concluded our watch. So we're gonna wake one of the others and get some sleep.
Sleep well.
Enjoy your book.
And you swap out with some of the other party members and go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
As you all wake up in the morning, Golemov is still sitting in the exact same spot.
Kill walks over and checks to make sure Golemov is still awake and goes, "Good morning, Golemov. I see you're still enjoying your book."
Quite. Hello, Mr. Elmcharger. It's good to see you this morning.
Likewise.
Give me 1 sec, I gotta check the dogs.
I'm guessing the Poogies pretty much are getting rowdy.
Angry puppy.
Rather like hyperactive puppy, probably. Sure.
Password did I use for that? Try this one. Yes, no? No. Oh, that one.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Enter code 5 vector 6.
Alright.
Golemov was saying, "It's good to see you this morning," if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And Kill pretty much said likewise.
Alright. So you usually find the trail that leads. Well, there's not much conversation unless y'all want to do something else in the morning.
I don't know, unless
There
Waifu
we go.
just kind of sat there awkwardly across from Golemov all night.
Staring
Just had to read
yeah,
the book, and
no.
she's just standing there ramrod stiff, just in like the default pose.
She was A-posed the entire night, head swiveling back and forth.
No, even worse, her defense, like her default security pose is just T posing with her head spinning. It's just fucking radar.
Because that's not creepy.
And her eyes are glowing like a flashlight.
Something moves. It's just like, are you still there? Dispensing
Golemov wouldn't-
product.
Yeah, Golomar will just like nod as he asks questions.
He has no room to judge. But yes, that's one of his warlock features now. Is he no longer requires sleep. He just has to rest.
It was kind of a joke, but I'm just going to keep it now that the default sentry function of waifu bot is literally just a portal to sentry.
Are you still there?
Hello. I'm different.
And every time
I'm not even angry.
and whenever she said the text me a bit, her eyes pretty much turned into a flashlight.
Okay. Continuing on. Yeah, it's easy for y'all to find the trail that leads back towards the village.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all make your way back to the village. The guards see y'all coming down from the trail, and they pretty much stand at ease when they see you. And one of them, who looks like the head guard, sends a runner to go and get the chieftain.
All right.
I'm guessing we are stopped at the gate still.
No, they actually kind of motion you in, and they're thanking you for bringing the children back.
Ooh.
Kill nods, and I think it's just part of the job.
Uh-huh.
You just kind of see my character looking around, just looking in her bag, shuffling through some papers.
All right. So, the chieftain walks up to you all and says, "Thank you for assisting my people. I heard from the children as they returned that you released them. They were quite shocked to hear foreigners had actually come to assist us."
Well, we were hoping that they wouldn't just come out of the rooms and try to kill us. So we're glad that they decide otherwise.
And I think you did not kill them.
No, just the head priest and his lackeys.
So the head priest is dead then.
Unfortunately, yes.
Shame. He was not always as zealous or...
But we also found notes from someone that wasn't as zealous as them. Actually, more of a neutral, you could say.
So there were some of them who were calmer than
Yes,
the others.
but we didn't find him. We found his chambers and his notes, but we could not find him.
Sad to hear. No one came back from the temple after the attack, so... Well, you've cleared the temple, and we are in your debt. Is there any... What should we do now?
Chill kind of looks to Golomov, or not Golomov, Gammon, to Nil, Congo, for advice on what they could do now, other than join us.
What was our original contract with the Turbo Catholics?
Investigate assist in the investigation of this island, which then turned into investigate the temple by talking to the villagers. You've been gone for approximately 5 days.
Only 5 days?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Took you 3 days to get there. Took a couple days to clear out the temple.
So, in a contractual legal sense, our job's done.
Yes, but you do have to go back and report.
Mm.
Okay.
But we also discussed that they will find out one day that they are Yuan-Ti, one way or another, whether it by old age or by something else.
But do we really want to step on their toes? We'll just say we went to the temple. There's a bunch of zealous people that were worshiping whatever, dealt with it. Temple destroyed itself on the way out. Bye.
There's also the eggs that are still at the.
Mm-hmm. Which somehow we need to.
Yeah. That you basically convinced the chieftain to leave it up to you because he basically is trying to keep the more radical members of the village from trying to kill the entire
Mm-hmm.
Discount Space
expedition.
Marines.
Mm-hmm.
They probably wouldn't take too kindly if we say those big rocks that they probably were thinking they are is actually some kind of sacred relic to the tribe.
Well, they know it's eggs.
Well, they don't need to know what the eggs are of. We could say that these egg things are some kind of tribal thing for the village. Please return them.
Don't know how. I mean, the only logical person would be Brother Sullivan.
What good would returning the eggs do when we destroyed the temple?
No, the
Well,
eggs.
if they're already in the eggs, it should mean that they're just kind of incubating. So probably they hatch after a while. Bit of an aside question: would I have any kind of knowledge for any of that kind of stuff?
Specifically, what would you know?
Any
Like, what
part
are you
of
trying?
well, just like any part of the ritual stuff.
No, you did not attempt to study the ritual or anything like that, and no.
So I wouldn't know anything about any kind of transmutation whatsoever.
You know about transmutation. You just don't know what, because this is basically a god's
Version of
So it's
transmutation.
not so much sciencey magic; it's religion.
pure. Yeah, it's pure magic.
Ah. So yeah, I'm basically just going off a guess of normal magic that it would eventually work its way out.
In theory, yeah.
So, in theory, the children will eventually hatch from those eggs.
Yep.
Yes.
And even if they do need assistance, there's probably someone in the village that can help them.
Mm-hmm.
So our problem currently stands at convincing the theocracy.
To let us bring these eggs to the villagers or someplace else.
And I don't know how they would take a essentially heathen religion.
They'd probably destroy them.
And all these people as well.
Yep.
The best thing would be for the
Yes,
people
Captain
to.
Angelus does not seem like a very forgiving man.
No. The only one there that seems logical is Brother Sullivan. But he is probably watched by the Paladin Commander.
And Brother Sullivan really strikes me as the person that every religious cult tends to have around to make sure everything works in the background, but don't really give him any power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, he is a head priest, and it seems like he was directly under one of their cardinals. So he might have friends in high places. He might have more sway than we think.
Or the
Maybe.
friends in high places have him on a tight leash.
These are things we do not know. Lots of variables.
I guess the only way is probably ask him.
So do we tell him the truth?
Or do we tell him a form of the truth, but still somewhat of a lie? Because even the vaguest of a truth still has a form of a lie.
The problem is, Captain Angelus will not allow us to just roam freely.
No. And he definitely has some of the paladins that I've known has a stick up his ass.
I think we're past the stick, it's a whole forest.
And they
I've-
do have possession of our ship right now. Well, not exactly possession, but
It's under lock and key.
yes.
It's more within pretty much boarding distance of their ships.
Yes. Any ideas?
Hmm.
Ideally, it would probably work out best to kind of start off vague and feel out how his position is, and depending how that goes, just divulge little pieces as nuggets until we get what we want, if possible.
Sounds like the better plan than none.
Agreed.
Well, we don't really have any collateral to bargain with on our end.
And we don't have any leverage. Plus, we also need the
Yeah.
money. If we are to keep our...
Even if we don't get the money, just living afterwards is a pretty good step.
Mm-hmm.
And not being targets of the Turbo Catholics. That's also a good step.
What is a Catholic?
I'm not too sure. I think it's one of those dwarven rituals.
It's one of those religious cults that foam at the mouth.
I think that's called rabies?
It's not dwarven.
Alright.
Just a lot of old men and little kids, for some reason. That's all you need to know.
Well, yes, the church usually does take care of orphans from wars and conflicts. I don't see what the problem is.
They take care of them, but in different matters. There's a lot of oil involved. That's it. Okay, let's just work with this.
Kill is very confused.
Continue
Olafov
your
is very
campaign.
confused too.
I'm not gonna sit here and listen to this. Go play your fucking campaign.
And this happens every Friday night.
And what's worse is I'm technically not allowed to drink, so this is worse.
This is a sober guy.
Oh, I haven't even take painkillers yet.
So that's
Ah,
very much in pain, Kai. That's sober.
I have really good pain tolerance, like super retarded pain tolerance. For
Alright.
perspective, I had both my wisdom teeth pulled out, and I went and jackhammered for 5 hours afterwards, with no painkillers.
You're dumb.
I didn't feel any pain with it.
You're dumb. That shit hurt.
Well,
Alright,
the muscles on
let's-
my shoulder and no
Let's
painkillers
continue.
on that one either.
Yeah.
So
Continuing
convince
on.
the paladins to look over
B-Run
it.
or Gammon, do you have anything to weigh in?
I don't know. I'd like to get these people off the island, but we don't have the capacity to do it.
Yeah.
We don't really have an in anywhere with the religious sects to just say, like, maybe you should leave this island alone. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here's a pouch of money.
Alright, here's 3
Well,
more
I mean,
beers.
Yeah, there's about 50 people in this village right now.
It'd be over.
Could possibly fit them all, but it's gonna be cramped. It's gonna be like very cramped if you did try and take them off.
It'd be like a slave ship.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
really wasn't gonna go there.
Then would come the question is how many of them would willingly come?
Sardines on a boat.
I mean, you could ask.
Would they all?
Well, I think we already gave the chieftain the offer.
But
So
Did
You
we
don't-
ever offer to ferry them off into
yeah,
refugee camp on our beach?
yeah.
Well, now there's really nothing tying them here. The chieftains are. The temple's gone.
hmm
So their blessings basically fucked off now.
Yeah.
So besides the
So they can't
village and
transform.
sentimental values, they got nothing else.
So they can't transform.
Problem is, you'd be taking potential citizens from the theocracy.
but when the theocracy learns what they are,
Yep, they're dead.
they will no longer be citizens.
Yeah.
Either way, it's going to suck.
Oh, they'd be slave labor.
Yes.
That's ideal. That's the ideal outcome. If what you've told me about,
Oh yeah, no, they probably killed them.
like that's like pure ethnic cleansing level. So
How feasible would it be for us to have returned from the temple and the village was simply empty?
And what? Just tell the villagers to meet us on the opposite side of the island?
That's certainly doable.
It's a
I mean, we
not
also
impossible. It's a
Bold
something
plan.
you could do.
we just have to make sure that they don't use Zone of Truth on us.
And then again, the other big thing is what about the eggs?
Yeah.
hmm
That's the hard part. That's the eggs.
Because those people are gonna want vengeance, especially if those children are still stolen.
hmm
Did they somehow convince them to give up the eggs without revealing what they are?
Because they're definitely going to have them under lock or guard of some type.
Oh, I mean, the priest of Azuth were
Studying it.
yeah. There wasn't any like active like guard.
Mhm. Another option that popped into my head is the possibility of just buying it off them
I don't think we have enough money.
or trading it or something.
Why not allow them to? Well, no, we
Like
already
it,
dealt
it
with
doesn't
one
even need to
theocracy
be a
there.
monetary thing. Maybe give them an IOU of
No,
if you need something done or whatever later. Just give us these rocks or eggs or whatever the hell you want to
it'd
call
be
them.
something akin to an embassy on
Mhm.
our island for the eggs.
I'm
Yeah.
curious if there's going to
Could
be any
give them a
wrath
foothold.
from this god that
We fought.
I probably
Really
will.
didn't fight the god though. We just kind of fought its weird little avatar.
I
thing.
mean, if you want to know, roll a religion.
All of us.
Sure. Well, you know what religion?
I got a higher roll than the paladin, and I'm a godless bitch.
Gil and Gammon, the two actual people of faith,
Pretty much just
Sorry,
thinking
this
of-
not
That's
really
really
sure
funny.
of what Samanya's.
can I cast
reroll.
guidance on myself and add +4?
Can't do it so humorously.
Actually, it says that I can It can roll the die before or
Posthumously?
after
Is he
making the
dead?
ability check.
All right,
so.
you know what? Roll the d4.
It
Rolls
does
a
say
1.
that.
Yeah,
Oh my
I got a 15.
All right, Gammon in a brain blast moment's like, no, I do remember what the domains of Samanya are.
I actually
She's-
already knew who Samanya was earlier because I already sussed this
Yeah.
out. So
Oh yeah, this is true. So yeah, you do know. She's a neutral goddess of survival. So might not come after you all with any divine wrath just because she's not in that and the fact that she doesn't really care too much about non-lizard folk.
So she's a very much opportunistic god. She's just kind
right,
of
but
like,
she
shit
does
happens.
kind of probably care about some eggs that some certain paladins have. So that's what I was.
Maybe.
Yes. Well, I don't want to say anything if my character.
I still love that I got the higher roll than both the religion guys.
Yeah.
And I'm non-religious.
Oh,
But yes, no. You all, those of you who pass know that Samanya is a goddess of survival. So if you die, she's not going to have too much divine vengeance against any entity that killed you.
It's just kind of, shit happens.
You weren't the strongest.
You weren't the biggest of dickus.
Yep. So, yeah, no. Probably no divine
Retribution.
retribution. Thank you. No divine retribution is down your way that you can think of.
Gil's not too sure.
Gil has no idea. He's still trying to think on how to pronounce her name again.
The other funny thing I've noticed is I have a higher bonus to religion than our cleric.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to remember that's intelligence based. And
Yeah,
I'm
ask me
max
to roll
intelligence.
history
No, thank you. That's like asking me to roll athletics.
or insight
or ask me to persuade someone.
or perception.
Ask me
Yeah,
to
they're
roll
act-
Arcana, I get +8.
Yeah, I have a
Yeah,
+8 to perception and insight, and a +7 to athletics and
Look at Mr. Marathon Runner over
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a fast boy.
I can persuade someone. I can find my way through a forest, and I'm pretty good at athletics.
I don't know shit about religion.
So, besides the priest not knowing shit,
You mean
yeah,
paladin?
our best bet is probably to just kind of drop nuggets to see how favorable Brother Sullivan would be to her position. Otherwise, the option of maybe trying to work a trade or something similar, or something to get the eggs without, pissing off the massive religious cult of death.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Well,
Sam?
Because they already hate me.
Well, yeah, you're a tiefling. Your
I'd
part.
love to not piss off the paladins. There was
They don't like
Quite
it
a
because
few
I'm
of them.
horny.
Huh?
It'd probably be best if they didn't find out anything about my own affliction either.
Agreed.
You're
I
just
think they
differently
would probably be-
religioned.
I don't. Whatever this warlock thing is, I don't think the paladins would be as understanding as Mr. Elmcharge is.
Well, I'm split between two gods, the elven one and the human one.
Human one?
Human.
Oh.
Helm.
Oh, Helm isn't a human god. He's just a god. But
Well-
he's not part of the typical pantheon that your people worship.
Mm-hmm. But he's mainly worshipped by humans.
Yes. But no, he is not human. And he is not a ascended human.
Mm.
So I think that kind of wraps up our diplomacy session with ourselves.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so what do you tell the chieftain?
We're going to try to negotiate for his eggs. If not, try to buy them off. And I guess
would
we'll
probably be
offer
the
him
best.
again, try to offer him safe refuge with us if possible. Because we'll probably be back, so we can give him a time frame that says, when we come back, we'd just like the answer. If you'd like to think it over, we do have space.
Roll a persuasion. One person in your party can roll the persuasion.
Kristen?
Who has the highest charisma?
Hi.
There's not much keeping us here. And this place will just remind us of old wounds. If you have a new home for us, I will tell my people that is where we will stay now.
Kill pretty much does a bow on agreement with his wishes.
Alright, so you now have a group of 50 Yanti.
Oh, should we warn them that it's going to be a pretty tight ship on the way home?
Yeah, you forgot to mention that as you walk out the village.
Oh, before we leave, I'd like to present the death certificate to the head man.
He just looks at it, it's like, what on earth is this?
So, on or hereabouts the 19th of Groon, there was one fatality that was officiated at the temple. Cause of death, arcanium hemorrhaging due to incomplete thaumaturgy.
What?
Kill just goes, what the fuck did I just hear?
My condolences. Hands him a piece of paper, walks away.
The chieftain
I'm curious
is
what
just
death
confused.
by incomplete thaumaturgy actually
Yeah,
looks
it's like,
like.
what the fuck is incomplete thaumaturgy? Oh yeah, you messed up this cantrip. Congratulations.
Well, I'm just like treating
like-
thaumaturgy as incomplete ritual or incomplete magic. Because the
Mm.
Death
study
by
and use of the
embarrassment?
magic is thaumaturgy. And
All right.
and I can't think of anything else to call bleeding from every fucking orifice available as hemorrhaging. And arcanum
Transmutation. Polymorph.
Well, at that point, I didn't know exactly what it fully causes. I'm just going to say it was caused
That, and
by
I don't
magic.
think you
hope for
actually
the
would
best.
ever learn polymorph. So yeah, I guess thaumaturgy would be the closest No, you'd understand transmute.
Ebola-morph.
Well, I don't know if it would have been transmute or some kind of religion base or something else. So I just call it thaumaturgy just to catch all. Closest we get.
You are the worst doctor ever.
I am the worst coroner ever.
He's a mechanic, he's not a doctor.
Which is funny because I have
Damn it, Jim.
proficiency
doctor.
in medicine.
Yeah, because the closest thing. Oh my god, thaumaturgy. Oh, you should.
Incomplete
To be
thaumaturgy.
honest, right now I'm probably the closest thing we have to an engineer and medic in our party.
Oh
Besides
my
the
god.
priest. 'Cause I have-
You are literally the Wild West doctor. All right, continuing on. So you
I am
make your way
fully
back.
charged. Hell, my doctor.
Doctor!
I guess he
They
could all.
said I needed medical school.
What's medical school?
I guess he could also.
You are literally you are the Dr. Zed of this party.
I'm just a doctor from TF2. That is what I am. I throw shit together, I make random equipment, and stuff kind of works.
But you don't have a pigeon.
No, I got a waifu bot.
Hello, Krieger.
Hello,
All right,
there.
so you make your way back to the encampment. Not many hostiles attack you. You're able to avoid most of the wildlife in the area.
No angry snake people this time.
Yeah.
Nope. And
No angry snake people.
hopefully no
You did see like a
Allosaurus,
couple of natural predators, but you were able to avoid them.
aka Allosaurus or
Yeah.
T-Rex.
Yeah. Allosaurus, yeah.
Rawr.
Maybe
So,
the occasional
um,
herbivore.
Yeah. So, but you make your way back to the encampment. A couple of paladins are on the perimeter. They notice your approach.
Kill
Uh,
takes the lead in this one.
all right. So you approach the paladins. Halt. We will go and get the captain. You will wait here.
Very well.
You watch as, again, this massive man walks up to you all and blue armor with golden accents. Don't you dare say fucking Space Marines.
Fine, Ultra
Brother!
Oh, God.
Thank you, glorious battle brother.
Brother, I am pinned here.
And all of a sudden, a T-Rex had literally pinned someone.
Uh,
It still makes me
Welcome back.
think they're Ultra Smurfs. It's just
Nice to be back.
So, how was your excursion?
Could have been better.
Long, few nasty things here and there. Few Yanti.
Hmm. So, you've been gone for over a week.
Yeah.
You're honestly about to inform your crew that you are probably dead.
It's kind of hard to kill.
1 sec. I'll be right back. I gotta move my vehicle.
Alright.
and he's getting towed.
I'm not getting towed. I live in a fucking residential area.
Still getting towed.
I hate you.
He's getting booted.
Oh, just because you live in residential area doesn't mean you get towed, or doesn't get towed, because I've gotten towed before. It doesn't matter.
Here in Soviet Kazakhstan, it is different.
Well, the Soviet Kazakhstan is also run by fucking idiots.
Soviets.
It also depends where you
more
are,
like-
because
More like
depending...
chinks.
Communists. Social
Mhm.
justice warriors.
Yeah, definitely that.
Well, no, there's weird sections if you're in like one of those gated community kind of things. They have completely different rules because they're not technically public roads. At that point, they're private.
Mm.
Oh, that's
So
just people being cunts.
Yeah, so it's just literally just people being asshole. Because I've had a work truck get towed, and I went in, started working, came out at lunch. I'm like, where the fuck's the work truck? And then there was just, I had to call the office, and apparently, the fucking truck got towed because it didn't have the correct permit number or whatever. And I'm like, I had the little tag for the homeowners thing on the dash. Apparently that's not good enough because it's a company vehicle. It has to have a special permit. I'm like, really? Really?
Okay.
Because, don't call anyone before you tow it. Just show up and fucking tow the thing. Not like the company fucking phone number's on the side of it.
I mean, there's a lot of people that don't read anything on the side of the person of a company truck store. So,
Oh, yeah. That's true.
I literally just see a vehicle that matches the description and tow it. Some of the actual good towing vehicles, companies pretty much say, yeah, I'm gonna
Mind
call
you,
this
I've
person.
also had to explain to one of those fucking meter maids the rules about parking in a laneway. With a commercial vehicle, you're allowed to park for 1 hour here.
Mm-hmm.
So long as you have your four ways going, and since we're offloading, we had four ways going. Cop showed up, the little meter maid showed up, tried to give us a ticket. And I physically went through my phone and pulled up the actual ordinance and provincial law code with the number and everything and said, ta-da.
I'm
And then he
guessing
kind of
she.
went all huffy and walked away, and I'm like, you watched us pull up, you watched us turn on the hazard lights, and we're literally offloading.
I mean, some of those meter people don't care.
Oh, we showed it to him, and we're like,
Gotta
if
make
you
those
really,
calls.
really want to try to clamp us and tow us, we are going to fight you hard.
Literally or figuratively.
All right, I'm back.
Literally,
Welcome
like,
back.
we were 1000% in the right with that one. Like, we literally had the physical law code shown there, and we're like, yeah, no, you're an idiot.
Welcome back.
Continue on.
All right. So, Captain Angelus at the camp. All right. So you were gone for a while.
We were.
What happened?
I got attacked in the night by 2 allosaurs, or some large lizard creature.
Yada yada yada. Straight to temple. Yada yada yada.
Next 3 days were attacked by Yanti. Made it to the village. Alright. Out of character. What do you want to say?
So you basically regale everything. Are you telling him the whole truth?
No,
We'll say a guarded truth.
So what details are you going to leave out?
We leave out that the villages is actually Yanti people. We'll just say that the village is the village,
Mm-hmm.
which really isn't a deception or anything. It's just a village.
Okay.
We went to the temple, dealt with the temple. Temple basically self-destructed on the way out. Went back to the village, and came here.
So you purged the heathens, then came directly back here.
Mm-hmm.
Good work, Mr. Elm Charger. You do Helm proud.
Gil just nods in agreement.
So, were the villagers agreeable when you approached?
They're a little cautious.
Mm.
Since, well, as you can see,
Did they seem to be worshipping whatever it was that you found at this temple?
I wouldn't say fully worship. It was more like a forced worship.
Mm.
Out of character question, does this world have anything equivalent to Shinto belief? Shinto belief is the belief in just natural forces in the world.
Yes. In a place where you probably wouldn't believe it is.
Let me
Okay.
go. Siakra or Dominion.
No.
The elf fuckers?
No.
Probably
Or-
be Dwarven or
No.
Nope.
whatever that other
Yaknorwees?
place is down south.
It's the orcs.
Oh. The Greenskins worship the trees. It's the Greenpeace movement.
No, they don't worship trees. They just believe in that life has its own natural forces. The gods really don't have much effect. They recognize that gods exist, but they don't worship any one of them individually.
So, on a scale of 1 to ethnic cleanse, do the Turbo Catholics treat worshipping natural forces?
Something to be converted.
Okay, so not quite ethnic cleanse. Got it. They're very much Roman in that respect.
Yes.
They'll probably just go and say,
They
like,
convert you
oh,
first
you
and then
worship
put
this
you to
tree.
death.
This is very much like our god over blank.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a little bit more agreeable.
But let's say you worshipped Bane or anything of darker alignments. You need to be converted.
Or if you won't convert, something else will happen.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's not really lying saying they were just worshipping a natural force on the island. What they were doing.
True. That's why I haven't made you roll anything. So.
Oh, so we'll just say they were just worshipping natural forces.
Mm-hmm.
So, the villagers. You met with the chieftain.
Correct?
Hmm. How agreeable did he seem?
In what way?
Like, actually, Mr. Elmcharger, Mr. Gammon, come with me. The rest of you will stay here.
Very well.
And he takes you both to his private tent.
Secluded tent where he can slit your throats and throw you in a ditch.
And he sits down at his table.
Kill just.
You both seem like reasonable men. And you seem that you have the betterment of life in general at your hearts. We just want to give these people a better life, worshipping a proper God so that their faith will be rewarded in a proper way.
Gammon, I'll let you take.
Oh, why's that?
Maybe because you're an actual priest? What? Oh, is a cleric a priest or a preacher? Like, what in the sense of that is he?
A cleric is a follower who has received divine. Basically, so any person can worship a god. But when a cleric or a paladin worships a god, the god is basically giving them something in return.
Oh, so he's like a really fancy, like, religious monk kind of thing.
Yeah,
You think of them as actual priest, but
Well, no,
they are.
like, I'm thinking the actual literal sense of monk versus priest, whereas priest can actually perform sacraments and stuff in the role of
Yep.
religion. The monk doesn't. Monk
Most
doesn't
people that
perform
worship would be
sacraments.
monks.
Yeah,
These guys are Gammon and Kill are actual priests.
so they can perform last rites and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, they can.
So they can fully perform sacraments. Okay, that clears up a lot more.
Yes. Hence why they have the spell.
Not all priests are
Less.
called. Not all clerics are called to the same types of tasks, though.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That
I understand it
definitely-
But
more
in the
as
D&D mindset, that's why they have spells like Bless and
Yes.
other skills. They are working through they are working.
They are a physical arm of a deity. So.
Thank you. There we go.
yeah. So
And they've
I'm
been
just treating
imbued
it-
with the powers of that deity.
yeah, I'm treating it with the real world invocation of it because a monk
There
worships
really
and does
isn't any
everything.
real world invocation. I don't
Yeah.
know any priests who can cast magic spells.
Well, no, I'm not talking that, but I'm talking their role. Because a monk worships and does nothing but for the god. The priest does roughly the same thing, but the priest can perform sacraments in the name of the god and the religion.
I mean, in the Catholic religion, monks and priests are essentially the same thing. So.
They can't. Monks can't perform last rites or any kind of rites from the church.
Well,
Worship.
it depends. I mean, you have
They have to be
different.
properly ordained.
You have different roles within the monasteries, but
But most of the
But
time, it has to be like
there
an
isn't-
actual priest.
But to answer your question, no, there isn't. As Biran said, there is no real world equivalent to
Okay.
Gygaxians.
So treat Gammon as an ordained priest. Got it.
Yeah, you should very much treat him as such. Yes, in this world, he could carry out blessings in the name of his god.
Should I refer to him as
I can
father,
also
then?
wreak a lot of havoc in the name.
Yes, he can too, as he has quite clearly shown in combat.
Father Gammon, please don't kick my teeth in.
Preach with one hand, strike with the other.
He just
I
comes
pray as I
running
slaughter
out,
you.
just like, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. The fuck's that mean? He means he's the fucking birth and death.
Bless with one hand and cast lightning bolts with the other.
Yes.
With one hand, I heal and free the sick and poor. This hand, I fucking smite fools and backhand them.
He's done it a couple times too. You've seen it.
Father Gammon about to backhand a heathen.
But yes, no, he is.
My deity's rather neutral though, so it's not necessarily a matter of trying to convert the world. So
It's a slightly
Exactly.
less backhand then.
No, it's just certain deities have different. That's a conversation for after session. And I can explain to you basically how D&D gods kind of work. It is complicated.
Shit happens.
It's a lot more than just shit happens.
most of the time, nobody ever really pays much attention to it. So
Yeah. I like the fact when there is a person who's following a faith in the game, because yes, that does add that extra layer of things that need to happen or things that can happen in the game. And also, you can't just say, "Oh, I worship this deity," and do whatever you want. You can't just be like, "I worship a very lawful good god whose domains are
and
all
then be evil.
yeah, bad things are going to happen to you." You might lose levels or lose the ability.
And the god that my cleric is following is Habakkuk, which is the god of animal life and the sea. So
You basically worship Poseidon.
essentially, yep.
Yeah.
When
Or
you
the
get
god
angry, do
god
you
of
just walk
storms.
out to the beach and start hitting the ocean?
I'm gonna have to read up more on that one. I know Helm very well because Helm's there's a lot of stuff that involves Helm.
I was trying to find a non-evil lightning god, so that
Yeah.
was
That is the
why I
problem.
ended up with. So
Yeah, there's a lot of
D&D solution for a god you can't find? Become that god.
yeah, or
you
make one
can't
up
really be a cleric of yourself, though.
I didn't like
Yeah,
any of the
no. Why
gods,
not?
so I just became one.
because you can't worship yourself and receive divine powers. You need to have
Well,
other
yeah.
people worshiping
I
you.
need
grant
to believe
I grant
harder.
myself divine power.
You know, I kind of feel like I prefer myself today as my own prophet, so I'm just going to give myself a bonus to everything.
I identify as a prophet.
I identify as the Messiah, so fuck all y'all, and I'm just going to add an extra d20 to everything.
But yeah, no. So back to the conversation.
I thought we went to that tangent because someone was AFK or had to do something real
Oh,
quick.
did Tristan say AFK?
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
he's
back
back.
now.
Gotta go make something.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Well, welcome back.
Mhm.
Sounds like a bad
But yes. Basically, Captain Angelus is asking you, what is how much opposition would we stand if we were to move on the village?
Again,
What is your reason for wanting to move on the village?
To secure the area and make sure that no hostiles act upon them. And I will not lie to you, we will go there to convert them. They must stop these Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
My screen just went blank.
Oh,
thing.
that kind of uh-oh.
Oh, it's because I hadn't moved my mouse in so long. Okay. Whew, I was worried there. I was
Your
like, do
computer
not tell me
went to
this video.
sleep.
Yes, my computer. I haven't had to do anything on screen for a while.
That's
Other
a big bad boss man.
Oh God! Hey, Wolf.
Aye, we're trying to
Uh,
negotiate with turbo Catholics with Nazi tendencies.
but yes, we must convert the people from their unsanctioned belief. They are human, and therefore they deserve, as is their right, to go to a better place when their souls leave this mortal plane. It would not be. I could not leave them in good conscience to to that fate.
I don't remember all the pieces to this puzzle because I wasn't here. So
Most of this dialogue and stuff that y'all did when you were here is still intact. They pretty much just went to the village. They during the temple they did find the actual transmutation conversion process and how that works out.
So the question is, these people, they, even though the temple's been destroyed, the religion's like essentially null and void. I don't necessarily know that. I guess we didn't ask the chieftain, but are they going to continue worshiping this god anyway?
You didn't ask.
The best way I kind of headcanoned it is that essentially, instead of actually worshipping a god, because I don't think they ever really understood what the god fully was, is they treated it more like Shinto belief. They just treated it as a natural force on the island and worshipped the natural force.
Well, yeah, and if that force is no longer a thing, then they don't really have any reason to worship it. And they don't have any reason to, and that's like the chieftain said, there's really nothing here for them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Either that, or they'll switch their belief to another natural force, or they'll find something that they believe in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
As most humanoid creatures do, they kind of like to put something between them and the universe. It kind of helps them from thinking hard thoughts. Plus, it gives them something to blame.
And in D&D, if you don't have faith, that Gammon could explain to you what happens when you don't have faith. Bad things do happen if you are an atheist in D&D.
My
Mm-hmm.
character's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an atheist. I know they're there. I'm just kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Essentially, purgatory is a very real thing.
Yeah, my character's basically agnostic, so it's just kind of like, there's something. Don't know what. Just gonna wait till it happens.
But, yeah, no. Like, seats in heavens are not guaranteed. But yes, no, you Gammon do understand where he's coming from. Essentially, if you don't have faith in a proper deity, when you die, your soul goes to purgatory, where all unfaithful souls go.
Ba-dum.
Oh,
Ba-dum.
did we lose somebody?
No,
No,
Wolf
it's
Knight
Wolf.
popped in and out.
Oh, okay. So, yes. So you can kind of understand where Captain Angelus is coming from. He is actually seems like he does worry about these people's soul. It's not like he just wants to swing his dick around and convert every person that he sees.
Heathen flap. Religion.
But he is actually. It seemed you could roll an insight, I guess, to see if he's lying. I shouldn't be just filling what you would think. You could roll an insight. He seems legit. Like this. Well, yeah, kill. Yeah, he seems legit to you.
Mm-hmm.
It does seem something like Helm would actually probably want.
All right.
Is to help those less fortunate than yourself. Be a protector.
Not being
These guys
So-
might be taking it too far, but
Here's
he's very much following Helm.
I'm gonna do this, and I don't know that everybody's gonna agree with it. But that's what I'm gonna go with. So
Do it.
I'm gonna that knowing Helm is the god of protection, and that Helm
Mhm.
generally is looking for seems to be looking for the at least the well-being of people's life. I'm going to lay out this whole thing, and I'm going to point out that these people seem to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, just in the same way we feel like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. These people fell into this trap and this situation, and they didn't know what else to do, and so they went along with it. And I'm going to explain where the eggs come from. I'm going to explain what the hell was going on in the temple, and I'm going to just see what is the guy's reaction.
Oh, so you're going to pose it more as they were misled by a devious extra god or whatever, and they just kind of got stuck.
Yeah.
What was the god again that they were?
Samanya.
Samanya.
Mm-hmm.
And is Samanya
Neutral.
Neutral. True neutral.
I don't really, yeah, definitely true neutral, because I don't really see how, like what happened here in my eyes seems borderline not neutral.
It might seem like heresy
Mm-hmm.
or perverting the powers granted to you. Maybe.
Well,
Terminatus?
and
Wink, wink.
I'm not necessarily, of course,
fuck.
from Gammon's position, as far as Habakkuk's concerned, Habakkuk isn't happy with this either. Wouldn't be happy with this either. So,
Yeah.
so essentially, what we've got is a population of people who really have been screwed over royally by the divine, and it comes down to who's going to be the one. What option do we give these people? What's the best option? And I propose that we give them a choice. And what does Angelus think about that?
You watch as he crosses his fingers.
He crosses his fingers.
Basically does that Gendao pose.
Pretty much just puts
He
his
basically
hand.
puts his elbows up on the table, crosses his fingers in front of his mouth.
Oh, like
Kind of
folds
like a
his,
thinking.
like folds his. I thought you meant like crosses.
He,
Like,
he folds his hands
I
together.
thought you meant
No.
like I'm lying. Crosses.
He's
his
like,
fingers.
oh, I totally am not going to do anything wrong. No. But I guess that was a bad way to describe it.
Because
Yeah, folds his hands.
here's how I see it. I see that these people have been wronged. I see that these eggs are their children, regardless of whether we're dealing with, as you see it, as heresy. I agree. I think this is heresy, but these are people. Even the hatchlings are people. Even the people that are going through the process of change are people. And they might not be human when they come out of it. And the reality is these people in the woods aren't human anymore either.
They've been misled and kind of fucked. So why not give them a chance to unfuck themselves?
Well, you're not here to have this conversation, but
I
yes.
I sympathize. I sympathize.
I'm
with
just trying
Helm.
to sum it up really quick.
I
Yeah.
sympathize with Helm and your order as your desire to protect these people. Knowing though that they aren't human, it may not necessarily be of great interest to you at this point. But Habakkuk is certainly a possible option, and also I have a Paladin of Helm in my party as well.
So you are suggesting that I leave these people in your charge?
Someone
I do understand where you are coming from. It is
Someone needs to take care of them.
the ignorant can be led astray very easily.
And plus, this happened during the Great Cataclysm, so they've been like this for hundreds of years.
Yes. And there's no way we could easily if this is the power of a divine, even a
You and I
unsanctioned divine.
would never be able
This-
to reverse this, sir.
Of that you are not wrong.
Would these people in their present state, would these people ever be welcome in the theocracy?
You watch as Angelus gives you a look of just like,
Okay.
You should know better than ask that question.
I'm what I am asking is the theocracy willing to take in people who are half human, half Yanti? I don't. What do you mean? What is his? I guess I'm not picking up on your. What is his?
They would kill them.
So that goes
I'm
against
right.
Helm.
If anyone, you are lucky you are talking to me. Any other man would have killed you right here and now and covered up this abomination.
And if you were any other person, you would have killed me on the spot. For being a centaur.
Know this, Mr. Elm Charger. I am first loyal to my god, and I am then loyal to my nation. I follow my orders.
That being the case, your god is a god of protection, and if you try to take these people back to your nation, they will be destroyed.
Roll a diplomacy gammon with or persuasion with advantage.
I hope you brought your weighted dice.
Where's there it is. I have zero add to it, so
16.
charismatic I am not.
I heard that the villagers here were unfortunately brought up in whatever this strange cult's actions were. They were unfortunately sacrificed to power whatever ritual would summon that thing that was in the temple. Am I understood?
I wasn't here for that side.
Well, you were there
Then-
for it, but
The
I'm
Naga.
regaling. Yeah, the bone naga that was in the temple.
So I will nod to Elm Charger to explain.
What was summoned in the temple was a bone naga and a bunch of other reptilian things. I could not fully explain what they were.
Am I understood?
Yes. Gammond?
Yeah,
Survey
I was letting you answer because I wasn't here, so I don't know what the I just legitimately don't know what you guys find.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So.
You're good. Let's go talk with Father Sullivan.
Agreed.
He's a good man, so he'll probably be agreeable to this.
Lead the way, sir.
And you watch as Captain Angelus stands up, and he leads you all to Father Sullivan's research area.
Everyone or just them?
You watch as he looks around the area. Everyone leave this area now. And you watch as the acolytes of Father Sullivan just kind of look up and they look confused.
Kill reinforces his statement.
And they all just kind of leave. They kind of all look at Father Sullivan and Captain Angelus, and
Father Sullivan tries to leave. Not you.
yeah, he's just like, well, okay, I guess I'm leaving. It's like, no. And he fills in Father Sullivan on what's going on. My, that is fascinating. So you're saying that they were changed by an actual divine into another species?
As far as we can tell.
Well, one species that can also look human, but are still kind of human but aren't.
Oh, yes. I'm quite well versed in what a Yanti is. But that is. That it basically applies that a divine can change someone biologically.
At least in part.
Out of character question. The auntie on this island with the divine stuff, they're basically just were lizards, aren't they?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Except that they can choose to change when they want.
Mm.
Yeah.
So true lichens.
Yay, lycanthropy.
Which is the thing. Just you haven't encountered lichens.
Which we hope we don't meet one. Technically.
Next plan for next island.
I hope the fuck not.
Oh yeah.
New upgrade for waifu bots. Echo attachments.
Oh God, no. So, and you watch as he looks back at the eggs. They're human children undergoing transmutation in there.
That is correct.
And I would advise you very strongly not to try to stop the process because it ends very ugly.
And
Yes, same. Transmutation is a. You just don't do transmutation on living things. It's wrong.
I agree.
you'll
I mean,
also
Polymorph
agree.
is
Mr.
a-
Congo sulking in the corner.
I like I said earlier, I'm almost shocked that a lawful neutral god would do this. This borderlines on.
Well, that's. I think maybe they originally received the powers of a lawful good god, but. Or a lawful neutral. You said it was Samanya, correct?
Correct.
There aren't many things in our catalogs, for obvious reasons, about unsanctioned gods. Maybe. Well, I propose this. What if Samanya did offer them the blessing for their survival? It does fall within her domains. But the actual individuals themselves were perverting the worship, still staying within the exact domain of survival, but taking it to a
Extreme.
An overzealous extreme. That would
yes.
maybe fit with what we saw inside the temple.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would explain why they were very hostile. And they had bound a water elemental as well. They were. Well, I mean, you're all lucky that you actually survived. I don't even think most of us could have survived anything like that. Well,
Another out of
unfortunate.
character question, because I'm trying to remember. I tried to talk
Mhm.
with the water elemental. It didn't say anything interesting, did it? I don't
No.
think it did. Okay, cool.
It said, "You dare to bind me here."
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't
Um,
remember if it had any other like exposition dump that I just forgot from like 2 months
Because
ago.
Golubov blasted it first.
yeah, it was a
And you
giant
can't blame
water elemental.
You can't blame him.
Yeah, Golmov essentially just threw a giant toaster at it and said, "Fuck you."
Well,
Plus, I don't think
and
they probably work.
if the good captain here agrees to it, which I believe he has, I do. Well, I too will agree to whatever story you want to propose back to the scriptures. But I would suggest that none of you ever bring this up. Ever. There are. I'm not going to lie, Captain Angelus. I thought you would, by judging by this story, I thought you would have killed all these individuals and started a crusade against the individuals on the island. It is quite within your power to do so.
It is, but it's not what I guess it's not for me to speak, but it doesn't seem like that would be what Helm would wish.
There are those who interpret the faith in different ways.
Gammon looks toward Kill.
Kill just raises an eyebrow, like,
It is
Don't look
not
at
our
me.
place to know the designs of the divine. We just offer up our prayers and receive their blessings. But even I could not agree to a wholesale massacre. While I don't agree with what your crew members are, I will not attempt to kill them without provocation.
I'm guessing he directs
So-
that towards me as well. Crewman.
I think me
Well,
at the most
no,
because I'm actually
No,
descendant of devil.
he was directing that toward all of us. Well, you and I together, because we're in the company of such heathen beings.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
It's hard being
Yeah.
the biggest boy in the room.
That still leaves the question of what to do with the people on this island and what to do with these eggs.
You said you have a ship, correct?
We
That-
do.
That is correct.
It sounds like these people were sacrificed at the temple.
And we were never here.
No, you were here. You completed your contract. I will stamp the seal so that you can present it and receive your coin. As far as anyone knows, this mission was complete. You assisted us with the investigation. Unfortunately, in the purging of the temple and all of its heathen ways, no artifacts were able to be found.
Ephraim.
Well then, I suggest you do not complete this here. Am I understood?
Mm-hmm.
There are. While the father and I are in agreement, I cannot guarantee that all of my men will be as agreeable, nor will not report what is happening here.
We will sail with the dawn. I don't know what time of day it is. We'll set sail as soon as we can, and you won't see us again.
Good. Retrieve your crew, return to your ship, and go and pick up the villagers. Take the eggs with you.
How are we going to do that without anybody seeing?
I'll say it is a reward.
Very well.
I can easily carry a box.
If anyone asks, they are artifacts.
We could just say we're going to use them as rations for our sail home.
I'm glad Kai is not over here right now.
Yep. Kill will be pretty much making her into a fence post right about now. If she was.
I think Angelus would be making her into a fence post right now.
Well, he'd do it out of principle anyway, because I'm basically a demon anyway. So.
I mean, yeah, not wrong. Hence why he doesn't even pretty much acknowledge any of the rest of the party's existence.
Me specifically, because I am literally the devil.
Just a general question: where are we supposed to turn in to get our coin?
The Cardinal should still be
Back
at
on.
the... Where was it? Croatia.
State.
All right, so I'm in agreement. Kill.
I'm in agreement.
So, you managed to gather up all the villagers. I'm just gonna...
Speed this along.
Yes.
Times 5.
Yeah. Otherwise, flavor text. I can cast sending now, so I can send a message and tell them to meet us. And so we never act. We can sail away as if we left, and we can circle back around and pick them up.
Yeah.
So,
So
Essentially, you get back to your crew and you tell them of what's about to happen. They're all happy about what you did. You do notice Rattletail acting a bit strange when you mention. Do y'all actually fill in the entire crew of everything that happened, or just what you're about to do?
Gammon?
That's just to say that we're taking on refugees.
I say we're taking on. Prepare to set sail, and also prepare the ship to take on refugees.
Okay.
Although, does Rattletail see the eggs being loaded?
She does see the eggs, but it's peculiar to her, but nothing else. She doesn't show anything straight out of place.
Since Kill's on the boat, he starts.
Does Rattletail worship this god? Or would Rattletail worship this god?
You haven't asked her.
So, just kind of a question, Retail. Which one of the scary floaty people do you worship?
I don't think
I will actually when I see her kind of look kind of perplexed at the eggs, I will ask her what she knows. What's the god's name?
Samanya.
Samanya. I'll ask her what she knows of Samanya.
She is the life giver. She protected all all lizard folk are her children. We all curry her favor in some shape, form, or fashion. But as in life, she gives and takes, as is her purview.
Have you ever had any direct divine interaction with Samanya?
No, I am not a priest.
The people that we're about to take on board.
Or no, she would say, I'm not a shaman, because she doesn't understand what a priest is.
Yeah.
No, she is not a shaman.
I say
folk
that the people that we're about to take on board have had
Have been touched by the god.
have had they have been touched by Samanya.
You watch as she lights up.
Like
So they
angry
received a
or
blessing?
Many of them, yes.
Then they are sacred. It is good what you've done.
they may not view it that way.
How could they?
But I will let them explain.
Stuff's a little confused right now.
But they have received a blessing from Samanya herself, from the Great Egg.
Do the people that are refugees coming on know exactly who the god is, or they just know it's the magic thing on their island?
They know who it is.
The magic thing on their island.
Oh, so they don't know it's an actual god. They just know it's the thing that's here.
I ask if
Okay.
Rattletail knows what's inside these eggs.
They are large eggs. Much bigger than I was as an egg.
Have you ever heard of Samanya transforming people? Flesh changing people?
No.
Well, these eggs are not true infants. These are not true newborns.
So
they are being shape changed.
Oh.
As best we understand.
That's... I must confer with our shaman. And this is beyond my understanding. As far as I know, the blessing of Samanya is essentially what I am. most lizard folk are not as cunning as I am.
Do you know of what were these? These were Yanti. Do you know of Yanti?
Never heard of them.
In some way, you're about to become familiar with the Yanti.
Oh, yay.
Anti Kill doesn't know what the hell they're saying, but the other character, that's kind of interesting.
But suffice to say, Rattletail approves of your actions. You all have +1 relations with Rattletail.
Yay.
Gotta get that speech up to 100.
Well,
Sorry, my parents never upgraded my speechcraft. I have the
I hate you.
conversation
I hate you
skills of
so
a
much.
fucking toast.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Then let me drink, asshole.
I didn't do anything. That's your doctor. That's what you get for Canadia.
The joys of Soviet Kyrgyzstan.
Kanekistan.
continue on.
But you all managed to cram the villagers onto your ship.
Kill sleeps up top if we have a lot of people.
Was
Golemov
downstairs
is
standing room only.
getting
Congo
used
stays
to
on
the
the main
fact that he does not sleep anymore. And he just kind of stays up deck.
When not in use, please store in closet.
And he just sits up deck,
Reading whenever
reading,
Reading.
looking at the stars.
Reading whatever dojin he has at
Or
his
looking at
hands
the
and
cloud.
disposable at the time.
or looking at the clouds when it's daytime.
Yeah.
Seeing if wind's changed or anything.
Just him sitting there perfectly still like a statue. It's just like, it is raining now. The rain
Well,
has stopped.
I think if it's raining, I think he would pretty much go below deck.
I like to think that he
Uh,
sits there like one of those big statues, just like, oh, rain. Cool. Oh, rain stopped.
You managed to make it back to your island.
Very cramped corners.
You are cripplingly low on food when you return.
Is there any food available on the island that we can take with us to go to?
I don't have it prepared, but I have create food.
So
How much
here's
can
a-
that feed with
I
create
don't know.
food?
I don't know. I'll have to look.
Yeah, I would look at that spell.
So here's another side question: is does the whole party need to go to Croatia to cash it in?
Well, you
Or-
need to sail the ship.
Mhm.
There
Yeah, but
is,
we-
they
we
actually
do
do have enough. They have some supplies on the island for you to restock on.
I create 45 pounds of food and 30 gallons of water on the ground or in containers within a range, enough to sustain up to 15 humanoids or 5 steeds for 24 hours. Food is bland but nourishing and spoils if uneaten after 24 hours. The water is clean and doesn't go bad. And it's
At least we'll never go thirsty again.
depending on, I mean, obviously, depending on how many days we go, I could swap that spell in and be able to do that, but
Mhm.
that's still not going to feed everybody, but it definitely would.
But it would feed.
I'm gonna say that you make
you
it.
ration it out.
You make it to Croatia. Fine. You drop off supplies, or you drop off the writ.
I don't want to
You
drop off supplies.
you drop off the writ that says we completed this. And then you sail back without too much trouble.
I would have thought-
Everyone's not too happy. Well, actually, you can pick up rations at Croatia. You pick up enough rations at Croatia to sail back. And then you sail back 5,000 gold richer.
All right.
So, where is
Do you have your? Do you still have the? Oh, I thought you created a note for the buildings and stuff.
I had
Is it
a
done?
reference.
Oh, that's right. It was actually a book.
Yep, here we go.
Oh, the buildings one?
There you go. Y'all see that?
Yep.
Yeah, I had it saved into the hotbar. I thought it would be useful later. Because right now, what do we qualify as? Village?
Well, we just brought back how many people? 50?
And there's only 20.
So you're
How
at
m-
70.
So we fall into
I mean, we're def.
purview of a town.
Village.
Um,
Village. Damn sure.
Yeah, I'd say you're a village. I wouldn't say you're a town, even though it says town is.
Some of them, yeah,
Well, you
like
gotta
the
have certain
50-50.
things.
Some of them.
Town
I'm gonna
is
say you're.
town is definitely one step above village. So it's either we
I'm
were
gonna
a
say you're a village.
yeah. Under village it does that. Yeah, there is population 50. So like a brickyard would require at least 50 people in a village.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say y'all can make a village. Again,
don't
you
really-
have no one. Most of your people are currently trained at. So this is the part where we can actually do some role play on the island. That's what I was trying to get to for the last like hour or so of session. And so now we're gonna start talking about what's going on the island. You haven't really received much work. You are getting. You're not really getting taxes right now because I would assume that y'all aren't trying to tax the people.
No,
No.
we're trying to let them build up.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's
But you do have enough people to steadily work the farmland that you have.
Question.
Answer.
Are we basically at the moment, instead of doing monetary taxation, we're doing more of a feudal system of taxation, whereas the landowner gets what percentage of food to survive themselves?
Yep. I would assume that's
Cool.
probably what y'all are doing right now.
Okay.
I mean,
What of the villagers do any of them have any specific skills that we need to focus on building
They
That
were
we-
a tribal society. So no really trained, like, aside from, like,
herbalists
Maybe.
and things like that, which we already
Yeah.
have a
So essentially, what I'm picturing is a bunch of people who look like Fred Flintstone, who have specialties in flint making, herbal gathering, and foraging.
Yep. They do understand farming, though, so you have plenty of
So
farmers.
they have hit agriculture.
Yes.
Okay.
They were actually farming at their original village.
So here comes the
Did we
question
ever
of what
determine how-
type of farming.
You
They-
do notice that the villagers are stronger on an average than most of the other people that currently live here.
how so were they on like this happened before the cataclysm? How long ago was the cataclysm? The whole thing with the Samanya and
What was
stuff.
it, like 500 years plus?
Yeah,
so they've basically been living in a tribal society for 500 years.
yeah.
So they're probably gonna stick together.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe them is they're basically just like Native Americans, basically, when the Europeans showed up.
Yep.
That's basically what they are.
You've pretty
means-
much gotten an entire tribe of Native Americans. Native American lizard people.
that are somewhat better.
Half lizard people.
Half lizard people.
They don't do that tongue thing.
They're where
They don't do that tongue thing.
So
But yes, your coffers are currently sitting at 6,633.
633. Okay.
What have we all built so far? We built
I believe I did have a notes on
a
that one.
mill.
I believe, yeah, we should have a mill, the farm, I think a cemetery, and I think we fixed the dock.
We just have brew and world for notes. At least that's all I see.
So you currently have. Oh, and now I need to update your population. So
Did we ever
pop-
fix the manor house kind of thing?
Yeah,
I think that's
that was
serving
part of
kind
it.
of
That's
as
where the
town.
mansion is.
we got a place where we can dock the ship. We got a
Yep,
place
you
that
did notice that when you managed to come back. There's a functional dock, so you could actually moor at the island. They deepened out the bay area, so your ship wouldn't run aground.
Oh, that's the fun part, though.
Yeah. Okay, then you get outside and try to pull a ship off a barge.
I've actually been there and done that. It actually really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah. Oh, is this not a public one? There it goes. Now you should see it. You should see under notes island status.
Okay.
Is that a book I don't have listed out yet?
No, it's
No,
under
it's
notes. On the right hand side, you should have a button that says notes. If you don't, go to library, and at the top, find notes and tick that little tiny circle.
But your current population is 20 untrained citizens and 50 Yanti. You have a mill, a mansion, a dock, the herbalism building, and you have the dockyard storehouse.
By herbalism building, I'm guessing that basically acts as the local clinic, kinda.
Until you get an actual like
Hospital
doctors.
or
Yeah.
So here's
Which-
another question: are we
which
going by the
requires the
medieval
100
definition
people.
of a hospital, or are we doing like actual hospital?
probably a medieval definition.
Yeah.
'Cause medieval hospital is
So
basically
not a
just
good place
hospice
you want to
care.
go. Yep, not a good place to go.
Well,
Except you have magic, which
Changes
makes
it
things a
bit.
lot. Yeah.
It's closer
Prestidigitation does
to
wonders
the
for
Skyrim
killing germs.
hospitals.
No, prestidigitation is not the fucking. It's not the antiseptic of the world.
And you get a
confetti.
prestidigitate, and you get a prestidigitate.
and guess what? It all smells like raccoon fart.
Well, no, prestidigitation is like the. What is that one air freshener? I'm trying to think
Febreze.
of. Yeah, it's the Febreze. Doesn't really
What's
clean
the,
anything. It just makes it smell not like
Death. It just smells like
God,
death with Febreze. So
No, there's actually in the Discworld's World series thing, there's actually a difference between magic and conjuration. Conjuration's basically like the sleight of hand bullshit. So like pulling a rabbit from the hat, which would be like prestidigitation, is considered conjuration for them, and anything else is basically a whole university degree. Like actual
Nah.
magic.
Magic's not that complicated.
It isn't for them either. It's just honestly the biggest thing why they have it as a university degree is so that they can control people not to use it.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why some races just know cantrips. Because
is the graveyard actually a functional graveyard, or did we need to do something to?
you would need to do something. It's currently just a plot of corpses.
So I think we should get that sorted out.
Here's a side question.
Mm-hmm.
When the church, so normally, I don't know how it works here, but normally what ends up happening is that a cemetery is a piece of sacred ground that's normally part of a parish or churchyard. Does that fall into the same category here, or are they two separate things?
In here, at least as far as the list is concerned, a graveyard is a graveyard. However, you can build shrines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, what I mean is that normally what ends up happening is that a church
Okay, so let me explain it to you.
Ground.
Yes. So
then
a graveyard is officially like, if it's well taken care of, the undead won't usually rise from a graveyard. But if you just bury bodies, it's not safe. It's not proper rites have been done.
So it's not sacred ground.
Anyone who just knows some necromancy could probably just raise a corpse.
Gammon would like to spend the money to fix up the graveyard and build a shrine to Habakkuk.
Why not just build a chapel? And it would probably work the best.
Because in order to build a temple, you need a graveyard and a shrine.
Oh. I was like,
I like how
I'm
he's
going-
wanting to build a shrine to his god and his god alone.
I'm not.
Well,
I
no,
well,
so I
I'm
was
just being a faithful follower of Habakkuk. If Helm wants to build one, I got no problem with that.
As long as they fund it.
Kill wants to build one, I have no problem with that. And actually, yeah, I don't know. So what does a BP cost?
That was. Didn't we
Was it
say
like-
that's a platinum piece? So that's 1,000 gold.
I thought it was 100 gold.
A
Is it
BP is
100
a
gold?
platinum? Because that's
that's
Was it 100?
that's
Did I say
really
it's 100?
expensive.
is there a list for that?
Oh yeah, we did say it was a. Actually, it did have it in a list. 1 second.
5e
Let me go to this.
Because that means the graveyard in itself is going to cost 6,000 gold.
Hold on 1 second.
Or no,
It's
4,000
actually,
gold.
it's actually in this. Because I think it did say how much a BP.
Because it's building production per 1 month or for 1 month. So take a month essentially for BP or whatever it is. So if you're able to provide or supply that.
Platinum is 10 pieces actually. 100 pieces is silver pieces. Then 20 is electrum pieces. Then gold. Then platinum.
But I didn't. BP
Oh, so it
is
is 100 gold. Well,
B-
no, hold up.
BP is not a unit of
Currency.
gold.
Standard.
It's
Yeah,
not a
it
currency.
it said somewhere where I can find out the price for this. Hold up.
Because aren't BP basically building production units per month kind of idea?
Yeah, but you can. Let's see.
Oh, here at the bottom of that building's. Well, it doesn't say about the BP, but at the bottom of that building's thing, it actually tells you what a village would typically have.
Oh yeah, for each building point, reduce the monetary value of the treasure found, not including the value of magical items or equipment worn and wielded by the creatures, by 500. So 1 BP is 500 gold.
So that'd be 2,000 gold to fix up the cemetery or the graveyard.
This
Which-
is cemetery by itself?
It's 4 BP for 1 month. It'd take a month to fix, if I understand that correct.
Yeah, it's 1 month to get that built.
And I don't really want undead walking around on the island. I don't think anybody else does. I have my own reasons for wanting to fix up the graveyard, but I think that it's a good thing that would benefit the whole island. So
Mm-hmm.
A good civil engineering thing to do. Well, because you also you have the mill, but if you had the granary, if I understand what a granary is, you can correct me on this. The granary would allow you to actually make bread from the mill that you've made.
I guess
No, a
I guess
granary.
my thinking would just be a
Granary is
storage.
just like a really fancy, like,
Storage unit.
Yeah,
yeah,
granary.
Which-
it's
which
like a
could-
gas grain silo for public use.
It could potentially become well, if we have a granary, I would say it potentially allows us to then be able to export food.
The mill.
If we have more. The mill is letting us grind flour and process other things like that. So
And you're currently only using the dockyard storehouse as your only storage building for everything.
So ideally, if we added the granary, that means store or food.
Which we already
storage
have
would
a
be-
mill.
Or here's another thing you need to think of. Before you build stuff like that, you could actually try and build the things that would build up other things. You do have
so for
forest.
a village, we can trade shop, a
You got cut off.
watchtower, a
What did
tavern.
you say? You have what?
You do have a forest and you do have a mountain range.
I was just
And you
listing
have-
off things that you could typically build in a village. So
Yeah.
For the mountains, how much would it cost to get geomatics done?
You'd have to go
so-
to the dwarves.
Or any prospector. You would have to fund the prospector. The prospector would only cost about 200 gold.
And what do you do, like a mountain, or what do you do the X amount of area?
He would do X amount of area. He would basically in 1 month, and I would roll what he finds.
Well, it wouldn't be too bad to actually probably send the prospector out there and see what he finds within a month. might become useful later on, then we can plan accordingly afterwards. It's only 200.
Because you're currently the only thing you're producing right now is,
It's
and I would
cereals,
say with the
basically.
lumber yard, they're actually going to start a forestry building, a forestry business as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a lumber yard?
Nope.
That's a lumber
You are currently buying supplies to build houses.
So if we added a lumber yard, we'd be able to self-produce houses, basically.
Pretty much.
Okay. And that's 6. So
And that would also help you like with repairs that come to all these
3,000.
buildings and other things.
That's half of our current party value. The worst part is that since this is my actual trade, I know all the different random fucking business shit for estimations, and it's a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, if we build a
Where's my
lumberyard,
calculator?
I wonder if we should also be able to build a graveyard so we don't have undead walking about next time we come home.
Well, that's if a necromancer comes to the island. The dead won't just rise on their own.
Yeah.
This isn't Game of Thrones.
Surprise! I'm
Not
dead.
yet.
Or you can build a crematorium and just burn all the bodies.
Yeah, but isn't crematorium only accepted by certain religions?
No, you can just cremate bodies.
Okay, so if we say that each be
Funeral pyres, you.
So if we spend the money for a graveyard and a lumber mill, we'll still have 2,000 gold left over.
But yeah, you could do the graveyard and the lumber yard, and that.
Or lumberyard,
Yeah,
yeah.
so basically they would go out there and they would plant trees as well as cut down what little trees there are there.
And put them in an area that they can easily get at the trees without.
They would they would essentially be cycling the trees. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So wait. Okay, that isn't a separate thing. Okay, so essentially what it is a forestry hut.
Yep.
Thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say please don't say it's a separate building.
No, I am saying that's. I'm thinking as
Along with the lumberyard.
Yeah, you're getting the forestry
lumberyard.
building because the lumber yard is pretty expensive.
Or
Mm.
fine,
It's very expensive.
5,000 gold pieces.
Yep, and we have 6,000 total. I guess so we'd have 1,000 left over.
So
Yep.
we would be left with 1,633 pieces for any extra supplies and/or upgrades for the party.
Yep.
But we also do have extra stuff we could sell at Creatia.
What does the asterisk mean in that chart? It doesn't say anywhere.
Probably if resources are available or acceptable. Like, to me, it would
I thought
make
it would mean there was a prerequisite, but
Well, some of it makes more sense for where it has the asterisks for like a sacred grove. It would mean you'd have to have a grove somewhere, or a lumberyard. You would have to have access to trees. Lighthouse,
Yeah.
you'd need to be near to the shore. Hanging gardens, you would need to have something around that you could turn into a garden.
but a
Same for-
courthouse and a crematorium don't really make sense.
Nope.
Well, so I was just trying to figure out because some things have a star by them, but there's nowhere on here.
I think the star means there's a prerequisite.
Well, no, because Waterfront doesn't have a prerequisite. Neither is University, Town Hall.
It does say at the
Yeah.
bottom it says discount, and it says presented here as an easy visual reference is a listing of buildings for which a discount applies after having constructed a building of the appropriate type. Reduces the cost of building points of the companion building by half. So maybe they're companion buildings, but I don't know. It says if two buildings provide a discount on the same type of building, but I don't know, something's missing here with this.
Yeah, there's no extra disclaimer.
And there's nothing that describes what would create that discount. Unless no, those are prereq. No, those are a discount. Those aren't prereqs. Those are discounts. I see. So to build a shrine, if you already have a graveyard, it would discount the shrine. I see. So those are discounts. But this still doesn't explain the asterisks.
It does not, and I don't even know what that means.
I would obviously
Building.
building a lighthouse wouldn't make any sense if you weren't near the shore. So I could see how those, like, you need to have trees for a lumberyard. I can see how that's possible. I just think it's weird that they put an asterisk and then didn't
say what was required. Yeah, because it's like the tunnels. I don't understand why there's an asterisk on warehouse though, or windmill. Meh.
You need wind.
Surrounded by mountains.
Yeah, each discount reduces the cost by half.
What book is that in? Is that one that we have access to, or is that just?
Yeah, it should be. It's one of the book for reference of this is
In the library, it is the. I believe that's the ultimate rulership.
I don't know what book this is, but I found one that actually has a building chapel option.
There is some stuff in the
Fucking
actual.
turbo expensive though.
Yeah.
Chapel. This one uses expansion units. I think it's because it's adding onto a guild hall.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 2,500 GP, construction time of 15 days. Which
Yeah,
is pretty reasonable for a chapel.
I don't see that book in the.
Oh, I just googled up building.
No, I'm talking about the one that he said.
You don't see the ultimate rulership?
I don't think so. Search by
is that
name.
Scroll all the way. It's all the way at the bottom. If you scroll through, it's under supplement.
Do you have that added for everybody to be able to look at? Because I don't.
Let me check.
I searched for it and I don't see it. So, I mean, if it's not something you want shared, that's fine. I just was curious to try to.
That one should have been fine for everybody to see.
Well, seeing as we're the ones picking what's on the island.
I mean, apparently I have access to it because I could click your link there.
There it
Something
goes,
just
yep.
popped up.
Now you should be able to see it.
There it is. Ultimate rulership. We don't have to build a graveyard. I just have my own cleric personal reasons for wanting to fix the graveyard. So,
Well, it makes sense, and like I said, there is a reason that you might want to.
I still can't find it. Unless it's buried under something else.
And I'm not doing the whole district system.
what about exotic items or secret sales or?
Where you're gonna have like a summer sale, buy one now, get a second chapel free?
Yeah, because then we can have one for Helm too.
Or you could just make it basically a non-denominational shrine. But if you build it towards one particular god or the other, then it is guaranteed for just that god. But if you do non-denominational, it's just a place where people can come to worship.
Well, I just figured we'd have a shrine on one end or the other, and I mean, there's 4 sides. How many gods do we have represented so far, or how many people care to have their gods represented?
Tristan might care, but I can't answer that question for him.
I mean,
Apart
ultimately, I'd like a shrine. I'd like a temple to Habakkuk.
Yeah, I think Kill would like to have a shrine for Helm.
A place he can come and relax on his time off, reaffirm his faith, not touch any children, as Kai tried to imply, because no one understands what Catholic is.
Well, I understand what Catholic.
Hashtag not all Catholics.
Yes, hashtag not all Catholics.
Oh, it could be limit one. It could be a limit on how many you can have in the city. That could be what the star is.
Probably.
Because we wouldn't build like 15 colossi around our island. So,
Or would
Yeah.
you have multiple courthouses either? Because you really wouldn't have a courthouse next to another courthouse next to another courthouse, all giving different decisions.
I don't like what this court says. I'm going to the one next door.
Basically, unless you follow the real life system of like appeals court and then going up and up and up until you hit the big boy court. But I doubt
Nope,
the
once
game goes that
Once
far.
the ruling has been done, it's been said.
Okay.
This is medieval style judicial.
He who owns the most land wins.
Usually.
So if we are going medieval,
Mm-hmm.
would you follow the same ruling that churches and cathedrals used to follow?
What's that?
So generally what ends up happening within churches and cathedrals, at least in England and parts of Europe, is as the cathedral gets bigger and bigger and more grand, or more time has been put into it, they add on chapels, normally in the eastern nave part of it, behind the altar, dedicated to other saints and or whatever.
Sure.
So if you
But
really wanted, you could spin it so you could say like the big church is religion, and then have little side chapels of Helm and whoever.
sure.
except that worshiping or not worshiping the saints, but praying to the saints wasn't a different religion.
No, but I'm trying to think of the best way
He's
that
trying
we
to
could...
basically give some fluff as to how this would work.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, because I understand that like why would you go to like an Anglican church and start praying to like Muhammad or something?
well, and it doesn't necessarily say
work.
that the shrine has to be to a specific deity.
Yeah, that's why I was saying if you wanted it to be just towards that one deity.
So the shrine just could be a shrine.
Yes.
But if you wanted to build a temple, then the temple would probably be to whichever.
Yeah, I would say a temple is probably to a specific god.
Yeah, but then if you were to build like a big boy church or a cathedral, then you could separate it, like how I was saying.
Yeah.
Well, and
Right.
a temple isn't. You have to have a town in order to have a temple too. So we're a ways away from temple. In this regard, a temple is not like a massive building. It's just because it's only
it's
only
close
4
to a Roman
BP.
temple, which is only like...
Speaking of buildings, so some of the
100
people on
feet
your
by 100
island,
feet.
after you brought these new people here, they actually came to you about some questions of ruling. Like, what is the policy for things?
Policy of
Rules
Religion.
Mm-hmm.
Anything goes except dark fucks.
That's
What?
I'm not
such an
100%.
elegant way with words, guy.
Nil becomes a new defense post due to kill.
I'm not 100% up on what gods are really a thing in this.
Oh, there's
All
a
of the Forgotten Realm
gigantic
gods.
list.
Mm-hmm.
That list is a little too long.
In fact,
Any gods that don't
It's a very long list of gods.
generally acceptable gods from neutral and or to good. None of
So
the
neutral
necroman-
evil?
so the people bringing forth the questions, has there been conflict that's arisen so far, or are they just
There's no
asking in general?
conflict. They are asking because they recognize that you have a symbol of your god on you, and Tristan has a symbol of his. So they're
Mm.
kind of asking. So what's the policy of worship? Do we
Well,
have to worship your gods?
The
worship
the-
what you want, but don't force it on others?
That's
So you're gonna go with freedom of religion?
that's pretty much what I'd say as far as I think Habakkuk's probably concerned. And I think just in general, I don't we aren't the theocracy, so we aren't zealously trying to.
We aren't going to purge you or send you into some kind of concentration camp on the mountain.
Unless you rule
That's
it.
good to know.
Unless you're an enemy of ours, then who knows?
I don't know. I think basic rule of thumb is don't force your religion on others and don't kill people for your religion, and we should be good.
So freedom of religion, pretty much.
With some minor restrictions.
Next question. What's the rule on prostitution?
How much you paying?
Who's asking?
I am. Could we open up
Miss-
a brothel eventually?
Hi, Mr. Jenkins. Here's a question. What is the standard worldview on prostitution? Are we going old
Depends
school
on
version?
where you live.
The general free, like the city states, because we're kind of the closest thing with them.
It's a business.
Could be
As long as they pay
lucrative
the
business.
taxes.
Okay.
Honestly, out
What
of character standpoint, you would probably actually want one.
Well,
we'll probably have sailors coming in, away from their wives and everything else, if they have a wife.
so out of character, it's the longest and first general profession that humanity's ever really had. That said, is leaving it completely unregulated is a really dumb idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, might as well stay on top of the game.
So I wouldn't
puns
say
intended.
make it completely open, but maybe offer some kind of licensing system for the brothels themselves to keep them more regulated and not
Like clean.
giant
Well,
rampant
think about it.
fuckness.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Because then you
Another man
profit
comes up
from
to you and he's
selling
like,
licenses and tits.
could we get a tavern? I'd like to have a place to relax after work's done every day.
Give this man $20. I'm with him. I'm okay for alcohol.
Kill. Oh, pretty much goes. He says, yes, but as long as you don't get rowdy with boozing and whoring.
Well, I was actually asking if y'all could fund building one for us. Not to press, but you are the. We're currently using Jeffrey's hut as a meeting spot for.
It's just Jeffrey's shed at the bottom of the walk. He just sits there. He's like, "Oh, come on down, you lads. We're gonna fucking have a right old time, and just actually end up fucking shit faced, and we'll walk down the fucking walk, and off we go. And half of us
Surprised you
are
weren't
pissed
using the
out in the
storm.
fucking. Half of us are just absolutely shit faced in the stream, and two guys almost drowned, but they're fine.
So, Gammon's going to point out the need for basic things like a lumberyard, and that we're currently funding the municipal things like lumberyards and mills and granaries and
Necessity.
until we have actual supplies to build things like uh, an inn.
Think of it
Um,
as a request from your populace. They are asking for a tavern.
I
Congo
certainly
looks at 'em.
have no problem
I
with
wouldn't
having a
mind a
tavern.
tavern.
Yeah, I have no problem with having a tavern. So I'm sure it's on the list.
Ideally, I would just turn to him and say, like, at the moment, due to current budget constraints, we're working on municipal civic infrastructure. Later on, then we'll proceed on to pleasure and leisure activities.
First pint
How
bunker.
much longer?
Alright, we've
Do you
been.
want to help get the island a beer tab? So
You don't pay us yet.
yeah, but we pay for the rest of the island, so we don't got much free money either.
So I think in general our rules. Let me look at the other nations quick.
Here's another side thing. Should we have an extra notes thing for current policies with the island?
You could put that under the. It should actually. Let me make that an open, unlocked
Mhm.
thing, so everybody can edit that as necessary. Just
Well,
don't
I'm just
add
thinking, like,
random
if
things
we
to
have
it.
like different laws and ordinances and policies on the island, it probably would help to have it in like somewhere.
You can put it on the island status note. It should be unlocked, so you can actually type things onto it.
Uh,
I think in general,
mine says it's locked. It's read
so
only.
like the other nations, like they all have a alignment, and I would say in general, I think we probably fall in the lawful neutral alignment.
How about now? Can y'all edit now?
Still says read only on my end.
Okay, so. Alright, I need to add another thing for policy.
Worst comes to worst, I can throw my other monitor up and just make a Google Doc for it.
If you want to keep some of these notes, sure.
Did you
Freedom
click?
of-
Did you click the padlock symbol in the top right hand corner of the
Yeah,
note?
it's unlocked right now.
Try closing it, reopening it, and then sharing it with us now that it's unlocked.
1 second.
Because it should work. And I can create a new note.
How about now?
No, it's still
Mm.
locked. But I created a note. Can you edit my note?
I think you can only
Yes, I
see
can.
your own note though.
I can make it public. Can you guys edit my note? Or it just
It
the
says read
DM?
only.
Oh, so maybe it is only the DM that can edit them. That's interesting.
Unless you create them yourself, yeah.
I can just make a Google Doc. I have Google Docs opened up right now.
Yeah.
So what, you just want it titled as
But yeah, the
D&D
Greymore
player.
Khanate is the Shinto place. I still need to type up the rest of their stuff.
I just picture a bunch of orcs trying to do a tea ceremony going like, me smash plant in cup. Carefully
Actually,
whisked.
no, they don't. They sound more. They actually act more samurai.
Oh, most honorable.
But yeah, they're not ignorant.
So what is general party consensus status? Slavery illegal? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Kel doesn't really care about slavery. Kind of poo-poos it.
Yeah, the Elven Triumvirate would certainly say it's illegal.
So
The Rashidon says that it's illegal. I'm pretty sure, right? Actually, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal in the Rashidon theocracy. Or
the one
the
thing I will say
Rashidon.
with
Or, no,
that,
sorry, not Rashidon.
I'm not
Ozathon.
advocating for
Yes,
Yeah,
it is
slavery
illegal
is
in the
illegal.
Ozpon season.
Yeah.
so not advocating for slavery, but proviso saying that prisoners and people who are like under arrest by the state for crimes against said
Prisoners
state.
aren't slaves; they're prisoners.
Okay. I didn't know if you needed to define that differently in the D&D world or not.
No, slaves would be like we are forcing a group of people on our island to
So
work.
you're
for-
actually enforcing them into
Yep.
proper indentured servitude. They're not trying to repay society in any way or form.
Right.
No, no, no. But that's their only concerns. That's what the people brought up to you right now. They're like, oh, okay, that's.
Oh, I think we should
So-
probably think about our basic code of rules and ethics for our little island, because
So,
I'm sure people are going to start
Bill
getting
Rights?
rowdy.
Bill
so-
Rights, pretty much.
That one, this one, that one, go and click.
So we pretty much are setting up a constitution and Bill of Rights and all that fun shit.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
One dash
You know the thing.
one.
That all men, you know what we mean, are created equal.
All men are endowed with certain inalienable rights by their you know the thing.
By their creator. Well, my creator's a warmongering creature.
Yeah, that was a pop culture reference.
And, yep, and especially Nil, her creator is not very nice.
I really think of how you even want to format this.
I would maybe just copy one of the other ones from his I guess can't really like copy you can't copy, I guess, because we don't have access to it, but if Warlord, if you want to copy, like just copy the Greymore Connate section and then paste that, and then we can start with that, because then we'll just edit one, because then we can say slavery not permitted, or slavery illegal instead of legal, and trade not slaves. So probably maybe more, well, one of the other ones, but oh, I didn't mean to do that.
God damn it, I did too.
So if you right click on it, you can click copy text to clipboard, and then you can paste that in your document and edit it.
Yep.
Also, Kill kind of makes it a man of the party that we should go to the Elven Triumvirate.
I'm okay with that. We can get some lumber to go along with our stuff. That way we aren't deforesting our island.
Well, I mean, if we're heading to the Triumphant, maybe Mr. Elmcharger could get a, say, druid. Someone to help ensure the health of the land. A warden, if you will.
Do you know any druids who follow Helm?
I'm not the norm within that of the Elven Triumvirate. Most of them follow a different path.
So here's a question.
But
we
do
have
you
a
know a
proper
druid?
name
Yeah.
for our shit?
You know quite a few druids.
Mm-hmm.
So just kind of out there, is there a proper name for our little island region
Nope.
place thing?
Nope.
Island.
Player Island.
So,
Player Island.
so putting that in, so do I just put in, like, so for the slaves thing, owning and or trade of slaves is prohibited within the territory of blank.
Yes. We are the Isle of Blank.
We're the island of misfit toys so far, so.
Also, were we going to see about a prospector?
Yes, we can spend some of our leftover gold on that.
Well, you said you had sending, correct?
I do.
Maybe we could send a message to those dwarves that assisted us with funding this and see if maybe they could recommend a good prospector.
Sending isn't a two-way conversation, though, I don't think. It's just sending a message.
They might have some means to contact us.
I love how it says the spell enables creatures with an intelligence score of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your
There are
message.
some things that
There are.
it's
so
very
not
rare.
me.
There are very few creatures that have 0 intelligence. But there are creatures that do.
Well, Brookhaven.
I don't know if sending is I don't know what the etiquette is on just sending a message into some dwarven craftsman's mind.
You are correct. We don't really have a good rapport with them, other than a couple of business transactions.
Elbrook Haven.
We could just call it Elbrick.
All these L names.
Yeah, we got nil L kill.
I think that's why he went with Elbrook. There's so many people with an L in their name. God, I hate you.
You're welcome.
Just more synonyms everywhere. To further confuse me when I have to think of names.
If it makes you feel better, just name a boss something with L. That way we're killing it.
Well, if we're talking of things that we would want in the future, though, I would eventually want a library.
Agreed.
And maybe an observatory. I'd like to continue my studies eventually.
Maybe be a library there and a observatory, maybe on top of one of the mountain ranges.
Possibility. But I say we retire to the manor for the current time being.
Agreed.
Any particular reason you want to head to your original homeland, Mr. Elmcharger?
See family and one to find the best type of druid would have to be either a centaur or an elf.
Remind me again, you're not the oldest son, are you?
I think I'm the middle child out of 4.
Okay. Actually, I think we wrote it on your character
Yep.
page, didn't we?
There's 2 older than I and 2 younger than I, or 1 younger than I.
Oh yeah, there we go.
If you really want to get technical, you could maybe call the island Oberry Dumnum.
Nell becomes another, starts becoming deeper as opposed.
Okay, let's see. The oldest.
That literally translate as home city. Anything really else in that kind of translation gets way too long.
Domum.
Yeah, Latin word for home city.
Urbedonum. So, you all make your way back to the manor.
Beep, 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 beep.
Is it like an
Um,
actual like proper manor house, or is it like a tower home?
It's a rough
It's a
city hall.
yeah, pretty much.
Well, there's a city hall object on the island that was originally there.
It's
I'm
a
guessing...
mansion. It is a mansion. It's a very large
I
house.
mean, we've been inside of it.
But this is your
Well, they
first time
probably changed
actually
everything
getting
around.
inside.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the castle.
So,
No, the castle's gone.
okay, out of a character question, are we following the UK lands rights system?
No.
No, we're in a fantasy world.
Well, no, I mean like the way. So, the way it worked is that the manor house is separate from the civic house. So, like, there's an actual town hall, and then there's the manor house. So they're
As of
separate
right now, you don't
objects.
have a separate town hall, so all built
Because a
business
town
meetings
hall is an
will-
actual town hall. We don't have
Yeah.
one of those. So this is
Yeah.
serving as the town center for now. So it is probably in town.
Oh,
Well, no, it was built on the remains of the. That's how you
it's-
got the mansion for
it's
free.
just off to the side of thing, but essentially what ends up happening in the UK system of handling shit is that the manor house is above the town hall, but it acts more as a check on the town hall. Town hall does all the day-to-day shit. The manor does all the extra crap.
Right now, everything is in one.
Okay.
Until we get enough money to actually split it up.
Yeah.
What
so we don't have
is
to deal with the day-to-day bullshit.
what has become of our the stronghold that was on the island? Is that still in progress? Is that still being, or is that what we're talking about right now?
That's what you're talking about right now.
Okay.
That was dismantled, cleaned out, and destroyed to
Used.
facilitate.
It was
this building.
cleansed.
Yes.
And all the brickwork and stuff got used in other stuff.
Yep. As you go into the manor, you hear, or the mansion, you hear the sounds of a child running through the house.
What was the name of the kid again?
Damien.
Kills
Little demon child.
I wouldn't say he's a demon. Gil starts looking around to see where Damien's at.
You see running through one of the hallways is Damien.
Damien, stop running around. You might hurt yourself.
But this house is huge.
I know it is, but you might hurt yourself, and your mother will be very mad at me for allowing you to be hurt like this.
Speaking of mother, you suddenly see Morgana rapidly like she's running trying to catch Damon. She sees you all. She's like, "Oh, you're all back.
Yes.
How was your trip?"
Exhausting.
Exhausting, yeah.
So how's things here on the island?
Not too bad. Sorry, I'm currently in your house. The
Kill
people
puts
of
a
the-
hand up and stops her mid-sentence and says, no bother.
the people of the island said I should be the steward. as well. I told them I'm just an average person like them, but when they realized how much more learned I was than the average person, they thought that most of the things should be
Average,
handled
you
by me.
ain't.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that matter, though?
I tried to turn them down, and they rightly refused.
Hmm. Mr. Damien, what do you think your mother should do?
Mom is smartest.
That I can concur with.
You hear Golemov in your head. I have no objection. If what you have all said is true, she has knowledge in most things that require a more noble knowledge. She has at least served at court herself, so.
Mm-hmm.
Gammon pulls out or is carrying the chest of gold and drops it on the table and says, "Well, if you're the steward."
That's quite a bit of money.
Are you up to the task?
You watch as she kind of straightens her back, looks you in the eye. I am at your service, sir, until you find someone more capable than myself.
Kill says.
Somehow I think that's unlikely.
Kill was about to say the same thing.
You all got a +1 with Morgana.
Which was needed.
Kill claps over to the kid and pretty much goes, "Now, look after your mother and try not to give her too much trouble."
I'm not trouble. Mom's just slow.
No, she's not. Have you ever seen her
I
run?
bet you could keep up with me.
Oh, I bet I could outrun you.
He runs out the runs out the door.
And yeah, he just bolts.
Kills just goes, "Alright, here I come." Zoom. Here, trotting up.
Roll a perception kill.
Perception.
Oh.
This kid is just a lot faster than you thought he was.
Kill thinks to himself, I guess that's the elf genes he has.
But with that, you all sit down and as appreciation for her new employment, at least sanctioned employment, she Morgana makes you all a nice little dinner with some of the supplies that are available. You discussed with her all the things that you've basically set as these are the rulings of the island.
Still writing them.
Yep. I know you're still writing them down, but
Mills over there
you
with a
basically
pencil.
tell her what you expect for things to
You
be
just see
done
me
while
sitting
you
with like a
were.
typewriter on the back of Waifu Bot's back. Ting, 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 ting. Ching!
How-
Swipe for kids to the right.
What's her reaction when we declare slavery illegal?
It's a horrible profession. It's a shame that so many people do indulge in it. I've never had a favorable view of it myself.
Nor have I.
Oh, you're back.
Kill has
He managed to successfully tire Damien out, and you see him carrying him back in his arms.
Oh,
He's kind of sleeping.
is he riding? Is he riding him?
No, just cuddled,
No.
cuddled in his arms.
Is she still scared of me because I'm a tiefling?
She's
Or
getting
so?
used to you.
Yeah, it's not
She's
that she was
tolerating you.
afraid of you. It was she was nervous around you. Because she didn't know what kind of tiefling you were.
Oh, I've never been to the Dominion, so I really have no idea about down there.
Well, I think she explained it to y'all when y'all first met. You
Yeah.
are essentially nobility where she's from.
Yeah,
And
and
not always the nicest of
the
nobles.
best way I've described to her and my character's backstory is that I'm essentially a guild orphan. I showed up at the guild's doorstep, and the only thing I've ever known is the city-states. Besides that, I don't know anything about anything else.
Hence why you don't have a family name.
Would
Exactly.
Morgana know of nobles in the Elven Triumvirate? Like their
I have-
sigils?
Unfortunately, the only elves that I've ever dealt with were the drow that had already lived within the Dominion. I have no knowledge of the triumphants' courtly proceedings.
Hmm.
If they're anything like the drow, I would say that you should probably treat them with the modicum and respect you would be afforded someone of their position.
As I'm talking to her, everyone hears something drop to the floor with a chink. Kill looks down and goes, "How did that get united?" And everyone sees what looks like a pendant of some type, with a tall oak with a centaur running underneath it. And it's cast in silver with gold inlay.
Mr. Gammon, you know that's a sigil. You're not sure of what family, but that's a noble symbol.
Yes, Mr. Golemov.
Um, what is that?
It's a little something I keep with me. All my family has this carry with us because of our name. Elm Charger dates back over 500 years ago. This was before.
So, by rights, you're a noble.
That I am.
And you gave up your title? I
Not
don't
li-
mean to pry. It is your personal business.
That's alright. What has happened many years ago has happened. But I do not truly use that in my power anymore, since I'm not in the Elven Triumvirate. This is another reason why I wish to go back to Elven Triumvirate.
So to catch up on family.
Yes. It's been about 15 years since the last I saw my family.
Mm. Well, I can understand the sentiments. It's been over 50 years since I've seen my mother and father. I'm sure they're doing well.
Except my father disappeared many years ago.
Shame.
Which is one of the reasons why I became a paladin. Other than that of a demon attack.
Hmm. A shame, truly.
But enough of the past. And you see Kill put that in a pocket while still holding Damien.
Well, I believe I've kept you all for long enough. I'll take Damien and we'll retire. You also notice, like, through your front door, your other party members, or your other, like, named crew,
Mm-hmm.
walk